this is what I want to talk about with Inside Out 2, because with $155 million for the weekend, that's the box office for the weekend. That's amazing. So now, with theaters having a slump because of COVID, the writer's strike, and as a result of that, movies that are blockbusters that they were banking on to do well, underperforming, now they're saying that this movie right here is the one that's saving theaters. I'll be back to doing my comedy show in New York, and you can get your tickets now for that. People, you know that I've been going to New York and doing a comedy show there, and it's been going very well. The venue has been asking us to come back and just pretty much gave us a regular thing now. So I'll be there on June 21st, back at the Broadway Comedy Club and back in the Red Room, 9:30 show this time. Get your tickets now. These shows have been selling out every time we do them. And you can get your tickets by going over to BroadwayComedyClub.com, or you can go to Double Toasted NY and get your tickets now. All right. The one everybody's talking about, they said, who would have known? The theaters had anxiety. Who would have known anxiety would have saved the theaters, man?
Oh, I thought it was going to be If.
Nah, this is what If wanted to be.
Yeah.
Only if they could have been this movie right here. Inside Out 2. Weekend gross, weekend, okay? $155 million domestic. Because I know y'all talking about, international gross. Yeah, sure, why not? No, people, here in America, $155 million. And that's good because it cost $200 million to make.
That's a lot.
That is
for an
a lot.
animated movie.
That is very much a lot. And I ain't admit, look, Pixar does some good work, but I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know if I saw $200 million worth
right.
of goodness on that
why
screen.
Is there so much more than the last one?
Yeah.
I thought that everything was pretty amazingly well textured. I thought it was pretty beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, I actually love this movie, man. I like it. I
liked it a lot too. I had a lot of fun with it.
So I'm not surprised by the $150 million.
No, not even a little bit.
Okay, let me just say, no, I'm lying. I am. Because everybody, and I was with this, everybody thought it was going to be, at most, $90 million this weekend. That's a lot. But $155 million, man.
Yeah, crossing over 100 is a big deal in this climate, for sure.
Well, see, Pixar is, once again, they're doing the thing that you need to do, is you have a movie that appeals to children and adults, and it bears repeat viewing.
Yeah.
Because that's how you make money. You don't make money from everybody going to see it once. You get people who see it and then say, hey, have you seen it? Come on, let's go. Or this movie touched me. I want to see it again.
Oh, with this movie right here, now the only people that are going to really be upset are the ones that were talking about, damn, I wish Pixar wasn't making sequels. Well, get ready.
Yeah, I know. When I saw that, I was like, oh, well.
that was a strategy that they were talking about doing. And, this is probably going to decide if they were going to continue with that strategy. And now, you goddamn right we are.
Some of these are open for sequels better than others. Inside Out 2, that's a great idea, though.
But being under Disney's, they don't see quality as much as they see a financial pattern. If they say that these sequels it's what's making money because sequels are brand recognition, that's what they're going to do. This one deserved a sequel. Yeah. This one made sense. Now they're going to start doing sequels for things that don't make no sense.
Right. Then they'll do Soul too.
Oh my God.
Listen, I love that movie.
Where he has to train a young hip hop rapper.
They turn to cats again.
Yeah, cast and played by Little Yachty.
He turns into a cat again, the other one turns into a pigeon. Boy, listen, I love that movie, but leave that brother alone. Y'all killed him once. Y'all need to, now you're just being racist. Y'all gonna kill him again? What's he gonna do? Get shot in a drive-by?
That mouse is gonna throw him in a manhole again.
Now that I'm saying it, it sounds kind of cool. Like he gets shot to drive-by,
Oh my God.
and the kid that's next to him gets shot, the one that they were aiming for, and now as a cat, he has to talk to him as another animal, be like, your friends are bad news. Hey, let me tell you. Hey, you can change your life through music. How do we cook human again. Tell me that.
I wouldn't like to see like Up 2 or something like that.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need, no, there's certain things we don't need, man. Somebody put WALL-E in there. Maybe WALL-E just to show how the world has changed.
I would like to see a prequel of WALL-E.
How they messed up everything.
Yeah, like the very end of it, because the first like 40 minutes of WALL-E, I think is my favorite thing they've ever produced. I mean, I'll never forget the time I saw WALL-E like with the car bumper and then like his eyebrows popped up. Like that shit stuck with me forever.
Somebody said they make Up 2 down.
Duh. We follow Russell when he's an old man.
Okay. And he's got that dog collar because the dog's dead now.
Yeah.
Dog, yeah.
You put on another dog.
Yeah, he's trying it with new dogs.
You put on a
It's just not
cat.
working out.
Oh, that would be great. The cat's just like, man,
Hey, get this shit off me, man. I ain't playing.
okay, shit, we're kind of selling this. Like,
Somebody, the better dinosaur.
that one.
No, screw that movie.
No,
Yeah.
that movie was weak, man.
That was a weird one for them.
Let me see here, man. They could, I don't know, what do you think? Could they do like a series of films, a Big Hero 6?
Turning redder.
Even more red.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Didn't they do a TV show with the Big Hero
Yeah, they
6?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. So
I liked that movie until they pulled that Disney shit where it's like, actually, the mom's not dead. It's like, well, actually, I don't care.
Yeah.
yeah. You're probably gonna get another Monsters Inc.
I think the early signs is the Moana sequel. Like
Yeah.
seeing that
Well,
get
that's Disney.
streamlined. Yeah, but I see Pixar as just an extension of Disney. They just have more. They have
Yeah.
better creatives.
Well,
behind
people
it.
often associated Pixar being its own thing. It's like Disney's going to do what they do, but Pixar is going to, Pixar is going to have some pride in itself.
Mm.
You know?
I think Disney's kicking them along. Like Finding Dory for me was just like, why does this exist?
I like Finding Dory.
I didn't
Did you?
care for it.
I
You know
thought
what?
it sucked.
Okay, let me say, I'll be honest. I'm not letting these guys bully me into thinking this. I'm just making sure, because I haven't seen Finding Dory for years. I might not have liked it.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know. Let me quit lying, because I don't know.
Okay,
You're probably
fair
thinking of the first movie, which
No,
is
I love Finding
amazing.
Nemo.
Yeah.
But really, I'm sitting up here saying I like Finding Dory, and I'll look at it and be like, well, I didn't like this shit. I haven't seen it. I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought Toy Story peaked at the third one.
Man, somebody find the review and let me know. Because I'm not saying I might have loved it. I actually might have liked it. Man, it's been so long, I don't remember.
I know. That happens.
Yeah, somebody look that up. I'm curious to see what I thought about that. But here, this is what I want to talk about with Inside Out 2. Because with $155 million for the weekend, that's the box office for the weekend. That's amazing. So now, with theaters having a slump because of COVID, the writer's strike, and as a result of that, movies that are blockbusters that they were banking on to do well, underperforming, now they're saying that this movie right here is the one that's saving theaters.
He's officially a teenager now. You aren't packed yet? I'm the worst! Overreact much?
I really like this movie a lot, man, and I'm glad that it did very well. It definitely is putting Pixar back in a good spot, because the people are just saying, Pixar, just get your shit straight.
Yeah.
People worry about the box or the theaters later.
Yeah. Although, with Elemental, people were like, but then it did well.
It did, but it wasn't.
I know, it wasn't
right
this.
here. So, I guess to kind of kick off the discussion, and like I said, I didn't even prepare for this, so this is going to be a free-form discussion right here. Is this something that is a sign? Because I think that's kind of crazy to think that this movie alone is saving theaters. But is it a good sign that theaters are going to be back on track pretty soon?
Let me say this about that. I don't know what it's a sign of, but it is one thing it's a sign of is like everybody's movie who bombed, who had all these excuses, is like, yeah, you can throw all those excuses away. To say, oh, but this has changed and nobody wants this, is like, it can still happen. You just didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, some of those movies that they were banking on, some people are already saying, you just hold on, just don't get your hopes up. Furiosa was one of those movies. Some people were saying, okay, yes, it's a sequel to a movie that was nominated for an Academy Award, but that movie didn't do as well as you think it did.
Yeah.
And that is still a niche audience.
Right.
This is about as mainstream as you can
All those
get.
movies,
Yeah.
all the Mad Max movies have not. they've been cult hits, but not big mainstream hits.
Yeah, what else didn't do as well as they thought recently?
Fall Guy.
Fall Guy. Yeah.
that was a big one.
Yeah, and I like Fall Guy, but I don't know. I guess Fall Guy, I know what it is, kind of. No, I don't really know, but I'm going to take a guess. Fall Guy had a trailer that didn't really tell you a story or what the movie's about. It just showed you stunts, but also was based on a property that is, from the 80s?
Yeah, I mean, whether it's based on the property or not, because it didn't resemble the property. And yeah, the Fall Guy TV show is one of those ABC shows like MacGyver, except not nearly as popular. But when you watch, say, the trailer for the Fall Guy, it doesn't look like anything you couldn't just wait to watch at home.
That is true. And a lot of people, they did. Yeah. That's exactly what they did. And it was there 2 or 3 weeks later. So maybe people have just been, they're because, this is another thing. Because, we were talking about this because this is something that, and this is going to sound like I'm changing the conversation. I'm not. But this is something that happened last year when we had 2 movies do extremely well. One of them being this movie right here.
Some things have been happening that might be related.
People like, damn, that did well. And I was like, Barbie. People were talking about Barbie saving the theaters last year. And it didn't work out exactly like that. But then we had the writer's strike that affected that. But, looking at this, I know with Fall Guy, a lot of people were thinking like, oh, well, Ryan Gosling's in it.
Yeah.
And Ryan Gosling is coming hot off of Barbie. But the people who were looking at that, they forgot. Movies aren't sold on stars that much anymore.
No.
And, I think they put too much faith in Ryan Gosling trying to sell that movie. And also he was with Emily Blunt. And Emily Blunt doesn't sell movies, man. That doesn't happen. And so, I think, a lot of people they're looking at this right now as with Inside Out 2, they're looking at this as the next Barbieheimer, or at least Barbie in this case. Where, it's coming in and, well, this has a better chance, Inside Out that is, has a better chance of saving the theaters because there's no writer's strike going on. Writer's strike is gone now. We're going to get more movies out there on a consistent basis, more scripts and whatnot. So, I mean, considering that, could that be a better sign of at least theaters doing better than what they were doing last year or before the strike?
Maybe. I don't know. When you look at the trailers for Inside Out and Barbie, you see colors. It looks like something, both of them look like something otherworldly. So it is something to go out to seek.
But even some stuff that's not, neon colorful, like Dune was pretty big success, but I think that had other reasons. I really think, man, that it's this weird case-by-case basis, but how do I think the corporates are going to read this? Like, kids' movies, tons of them.
Yeah, exactly, because some of the biggest movies are the most profitable movies that you have right now. And you're right, they're going to see a pattern because in addition to Inside Out 2 doing well, now this movie didn't do nearly as big, but you got Garfield. That's one of the more profitable movies right now.
Yeah, they're going to see that 60 miller and be like, that's how much they need.
That's who's coming to see these things. And Dune, while it's not a kid's movie or even that colorful, it is an epic. And an epic you tend to watch on the big screen, even if you got a big TV.
I think you're going to have people who are going to be trying to predict what's going to happen.
Yeah, none of us know.
They're going to say theaters are probably already articles are coming out saying theaters are saved thanks to Inside Out.
Right.
Bro, so many theaters shut down this month. Like,
I know.
How can you say that?
Yeah, they're saying, oh man, it's $155 million. Theaters are happy days are here again. Theaters on the up and up. The fact is, and I really do believe this is a fact, no one knows. Everybody wants to breathe a sigh of relief. Everybody wants to be the one to call it. Everybody wants to see a pattern right there. I would take Inside Out as, hey, this is something that was good that happened on this one time. Don't get too excited yet.
Right.
Don't start celebrating. You got to wait and see what's going to happen next because it's still going to be a little ways off before we get to see if these next few movies are going to be big hits too. We got Deadpool Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the one. That's all. Everybody already knew that. But like A Quiet Place 2, No one knows how that's going to do.
3, right?
I'm sorry.
Chapter
3.
1.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the
so
prequel.
it's that prequel.
So Quiet Place, the prequel, Despicable Me. Now everybody's going to be looking at Despicable Me, whichever one it
that's
is right now.
4.
That one might have. I will say this. I think that has a better chance of doing money than A Quiet Place.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Those chicken nuggets get butts in seats.
Twisters. I think Twisters. Okay, you know what? I think Twisters has the one that has the potential to make a lot of money.
I'm curious about that. Is that going to reach into people's nostalgia? Like, do people really care about that?
Yeah,
You
I
got-
didn't even think people liked the old Twister.
No, Twister was a hit.
Yeah.
It was not good if you ask me, but
Yeah.
it was a hit. But Twisters, that trailer is actually getting people excited. And,
Is it?
Yeah, and I think it's because people just like tornadoes, man. It's like sharks.
Oh,
you know,
okay,
people
okay.
just.
Yeah, it looks fun. I was surprised that I was like, all right, I don't hate what I'm seeing here. It looks like something. And they're doing some of that fun marketing with it. I saw it at the Draft House. They got one of those turbines that you can stand. It's like you want to feel the twister.
Yeah, yeah, man. I think this one's gonna be the one to look forward to. Get your bitch ass out the way.
Interesting. Who are they?
It's Tyler Owens. Calls himself Tornado Wrangler. Champion Friends.
What? That's the latest. There's anybody that's close to selling movies with celebrity or star power is him now.
Who, Glenn Powell?
Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn Powell's an up and comer. But I think that this movie's gonna make some money, and I think it's gonna get people into the theaters because there's just something about
Natural disasters.
that disaster movies. Now we had a glut of them at one time, and it ran its phase. But disaster movies, they make great trailers.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Because Roland Emmerich just took it to a crazy place.
Oh, he was insane with it. Yeah, he was addicted to it. But man, disaster movies, they sell well because they show disasters, man. You know, people, I don't know why, people love looking at tornadoes and hurricanes and tsunamis and floods and end of the world stuff.
Combining.
Go faster.
Let's ride.
See, that's what's going to sell this movie right there. I think that's going to be a big one. But but I don't think any of these are enough to say that we're seeing an uprise in, theaters doing better. And also, let's not forget, you're still ignoring certain common sense things. Theaters still need to improve themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And and I don't know if all these movies this summer are going to be enough to bring in money to where these theaters that were closing, it would save them. Theaters,
Right.
to make the improvements that theaters need to improve on. It's a lot bigger than Inside Out 2 made money this weekend. So, yeah, folks, there you go. That's the discussion right there. Tell us what you think in the chat. How you feel about this? And I'm gonna let this guy come on for a couple of minutes, just about a couple of minutes. The guy who wanted to talk about
That a coyote.
yeah. Somebody said, "No, bro, I'd rather see a lizard fight a monkey."
Yes.
Well, that's a disaster movie in a way if you think
Yeah.
about it.
And that was a big hit.
Yeah. Somebody said I gave Finding Dory a matinee, so I did like it. Toasted Evenly says, "Great show, guys. Great, thank you. Yeah, thank you. CC Toasty. He says, or she says, we have to wait at least a year or two to finally say movies are back, as long as there's a good track record back to back. You hit it right there.
Yeah, and it's summer. So people are going to go to movies during the summer. But what happens in September?
Yeah.
And what's going to be the drop off for Inside Out 2? Like, I do think you're right. There's going to be repeat viewings, but it's not going to make another 100 million next week. I don't see that happening. I'd be surprised if it did.
Yeah, I don't think so, but you never know.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like.
I mean, you
everything's
guys
up in the
talked
air.
about it a little bit with, Sony buying the Draft House. That's how it used to be back in the day. The studios would own the theaters.
Yeah.
I think Disney, they're going to inevitably be dominating the box office. Like, I bet you there's going to be a week where it's Deadpool, Inside Out 2, and Planet of the Apes are going to all be in there. I could see Disney, being like, all right, who's for sale? Because we're buying,
That's the crazy thing about owning two studios. Well, now they're all one studio, but under different names. because now you can release all these under different studio names, and this seems like it's a monopoly now. Which is why they stopped theaters from being owned by studios.
And it's going to go back to that.
Yeah,
now.
you know, if you think about it, you have Disney, you have 20th Century Fox. What else do they own?
There was another. No, maybe there's Sony that owns a bunch of them as well. Like New Line Cinema is owned by Time Warner. And then Warner Brothers owns a whole bunch of other shit. Discovery now, so it is closing up there.
Yeah. It's just, that feels weird.
It does. Sony movie theaters not wanting to show Disney movies is something that seems more feasible than not.
But that's slitting their own throats.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If everybody's going to see Deadpool, Wolverine, and you're like, that's a Disney movie, we're not showing it. It's like, that's a lot of money you're missing out on.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
I wonder how it's going to evolve. I could see, Disney has in LA a really big movie theater.
Yeah.
Like right across from the Chinese theater. It's like, well, here's our theater. And they have like a Disney store and all this stuff. But I could see Disney opening up their own brand of movie theaters, and they will be nightmares.
Yeah.
Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.